Dumelang Molwani Mzansi Africa, and welcome to Expressions, your favorite youth show, right here on SABC 1 and GTT. Ndimlake ukhala sakalubisu nokanyeza ndiyo minetho njengasiqhelo ndihamba naye uLiema. Uqale isuthu ntanga.
Umhlanezolo kaloku yayazi.
Yes, that's the spirit.
Ngatsho Mzansi Africa, and of course I'm your host uLiema Vumisa. Great to have you this right here on Expressions on SABC 1. Now we are definitely coming live and a director from our Auckland Park studios, Konala at Johannesburg. Now the youth unemployment rate in South Africa happens to be between the ages of 15 and 24 years old. And guess this, it picked up to 59.4% in the fourth quarter of 2023 from an over 1 year low of 58% in the third quarter. Now despite the immense scale of focusing on policy, legislation, program implementation, and even resources allocation, youth unemployment, believe it or not, Kolosa, has unfortunately worsened. Now this is according to the Labour Market Research Seminar, which was told 2 weeks back. According to, again, 2 independent research reports presented by the Nelson Mandela University as well as the Social Sciences Research Council. So this week on Expressions, we are going to be looking at how we can empower young people, really. I mean, there are organizations, a plethora of them, like Empowaworx, that creates events that ensure impact, growth, and even transformation across the spectrum, across different audience streams, from youth and even entrepreneurs to women and also us as men. They create events that make a fundamental difference to the world and to the lives of individuals, really. And today we will speak to them and one of the beneficiaries of that particular program. But first, our street journalist Azaria Koza had an interesting discussion, and really an impactful one, with abantu abatsha from Empowervate on how they can continue to empower themselves.
Siphinde sinamukele kulesi sigaba sohlelo mbukeli lapho sihlala phansi khona nentsha sixoxisane ngezahloko ezahlukahlukene esiniphathela zona lapha kulolu hlelo. Igama lami ngo-Azaria Khoza. Namhlanje ke mbukeli angihambi ngedwa, ngihamba nentsha ebuya kwe-Empowervate esoxoxa banzi nayo about youth empowerment lapha eSouth Africa.
If we can go to Ekasi right now and ask a lot of people, you'd find that people have a lot of good business ideas and a lot of like the good business people from Ekasi, but then because they don't have the information and the knowledge to say that there are programs like NYDA that can help you to actually create your business plan, to actually further your business, fund you, and help you like get your business to a place where you're now competitive in the market and things like that.
So following somebody who has done what you're trying to do, or following somebody who has similar interest in what you are also trying to do, can also help you to propel your idea.
All the learners who are at school, they choose the right programs for themselves, not to just go and do, let's say, HR management, while over 100,000 of students are doing the same thing, right? In a settled economy, that is not going to happen. You're not going to get a job if that is the case.
Do not be disheartened at the beginning stage of your project. So do not despise the small beginnings, because starting up a project will really need a lot of sacrifice.
A lot of teachers go above and beyond for their students, even like with things, as we were speaking, that there's a lack of information in schools. Some teachers go above and beyond to get that information and to give it to their learners so that they give them the best possible chance to succeed in life as possible. So thank you to our teachers countrywide for doing that. Your work does not go unnoticed.
Absolutely. Shout out to all teachers across the spectrum, Konala Mzansi Africa or Eningizimu Africa. But of course, help me unpack this particular discussion and really just get to navigate and map a way forward in terms of how we as Abantu Abasha can be able to partake in organizations and even programs that are out there. To help me to just that particular thing, I have a guest joining us in studio. Dumi Leroux is one of them, rather. She is the acting general manager and also Empowa head, who's the Empowa youth head, rather. And Sbusiso Manqa is also joining us here. And again, he is rather, I beg your pardon, the beneficiary of Empowa Youth. Lady and gent, welcome to the show and thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us.
I mean, to me, perhaps let me start with you here. Just paint us a picture of exactly what Empowa Youth is all about and maybe just take us back to what inspired that particular idea.
Absolutely. So Empower Youth is a platform and a product of Empowaworx. Empowaworx is a marketing agency that has been around for over 20 years, servicing clients in the public and private sector with solutions to strategy, PR, events, as well as communication. And about 10 years ago, our CEO, Simpiwe Masiza, decided to give birth to this beautiful product which speaks to youth emancipation and development. Empower Youth is what we named it. And since then, this is our 10th year, and we've never looked back in terms of bringing opportunities closer to young people, especially those that are in the marginalized areas. So township areas is generally where you'll find the platform taking place. It takes place as an event that brings industry and young people. We target about 20,000. We unpack about 20 industries in terms of scarce skills, opportunities, and how youth can claim access to these particular opportunities. And again, we're doing this to provide a solution to the rate of unemployment in our country. We're speaking to what youth need and what they've asked for in terms of being able to tap into a better future for themselves. And Empowerworx is really doing their role in making sure that young people aren't left behind.
I can imagine then, though, that, just still on the route or where it started, I can imagine there were particular issues that you had to identify that youth are particularly facing. Just to care to mention some of those issues?
Sure. I mean, I think one is what I've spoken to already, which is access to opportunity. Being I'm a young person, I'm a graduate or I'm a matriculant, I'm looking for a study opportunity, I'm looking for a work opportunity. I'm a young person, because I can't find employment, I've started my own business, so I've ventured into entrepreneurship and I need support. I think supporting and recognizing youth and their cry and understanding them, meeting them at their point of need has been one of the things that we've been able to pick up on ground. And what we have actually launched as being able to curate informed platforms for youth, we've been able to branch out and create one of our arms that's called Insights and Trends. So there we do on-ground research to find out what is it exactly that young people are looking for, what do they want to know about, what are the industries that they're actually interested in. And from there, that's how we then curate the Empower Youth platform that takes place. And again, we then have informed conversation based on what youth are looking for. But again, the challenge on ground is the fact that they're not paid enough attention to, especially again, those that are in marginalized areas. We've been able to roll this platform out to 7 of our 9 provinces, only leaving Western Cape and Free State, of which you're doing that by the end of this year. And again, industry needs to come on board to support initiatives such as this.
And I can imagine then, Sbusiso, you being a part of this particular program or initiative was, quite eye-opening for you. Just walk us through that and probably some of the benefits that you've reaped being a partner with them.
Firstly, there's something that happens to your mindset when you become exposed to such initiatives, especially without being apologetic about it, being done by people of your pigmentation, and them doing it correctly with a sense of high professionalism. And with me, firstly, when I walked into the space, I was gobsmacked. I was like, I've never seen anything like this before. And at the time, I just started my company, SA Books Online, and by then you saw it as an SMME and not something that could potentially become an industry leader. Until then, you start to sit in these sessions that are done at Empower Youth, where they get industry leaders in all sets of industries, where they talk about the financial skills, the management skills, and then now you start to picture yourself in those shoes that they are in to say, hey, he looks like me, but he sounds like a global leader.
Because then I can imagine there's a stereotype attached to it. People of our pigmentation, we don't sort of hold them to a high regard, just to echo what you were talking about there. But now, if you can just answer me, how long were you with the program, and what are some of the tools, just briefly before we go to the ad break, that you've acquired with the program?
Okay, I first got to Empower Youth in 2021, and nothing has been the same ever since. The level of network I've been exposed to.
I'm sure the business has even skyrocketed now.
The business, I've went from wanting to be an employee to being an employer, mainly because of the mentors that I've had from that circle. And they've made me see things about my business that I didn't even see. And Everything has changed since Empower Youth.
Everything has changed. All right. Unfortunately, we have to quickly go to an ad break, but we shall continue with that particular conversation. Do stay with us right on SABC 1. This is Expressions.
We are thinking democracy. Do you think that with
Expressions.
programs that are being ran by the government, are we heading the right direction as far as ukuthuthukiswa kwabantu abasha is concerned?
There is a lack of information in the school system, and that is something that contributes to the high rate of unemployment. So as much as we speak about this thing of creating businesses, so a simple thing, right? Many people have wanted to do so, but they don't get to do that because of lack of information and financial means, right?
If you were to go to the township or to the villages, schools, they don't have Wi-Fi, they don't have computer labs, they don't have anything that can help project them into the fourth industrial revolution. So that's something that the government really needs to tackle. If possible, partner up with NGOs or companies that are willing to help implement such things in schools.
Teaching people in the public schools to do things like Excel, the Microsoft platform, that's what we can introduce to them, because they are really struggling when we're facing the challenge under YCAP. So YCAP assists them with that type of thing, Excel and Word, to type out their portfolios and everything.
A program which is called YCAP under Empowervate. It's being done by the Department of Education. So what it essentially does, it empowers youth to actually stand up for their community, to identify the problems that they are facing, and basically come up with solutions and ways in which they can plan those actions and make sure that they solve the big problem.
When someone is done with the 12-year qualification, which we call a matric certificate, you are actually able to do something with that first qualification that you obtain. And it's not a matter of the matric certificate is just there to help you to get another qualification, but in itself is a qualification that has weight.
Powerful conversation on the ground with young people. You are still watching your favorite youth show right here on SABC 1. Expressions is the name. We are, of course, putting a spotlight on empowering young people in South Africa. The question, esibuzayo apha ekhaya kukuba, how can we empower young people in South Africa? Mhlawumbe uhleli nawe apha ekhaya uyaqonda bana, no, I want to be empowered. This is the platform for you. Join the conversation on social media pages. We are on Facebook at Expressions and also Twitter at Expressions_10. Right now, I am joined by Shadi Machila from Empowervate. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I am great. I saw young people on the streets, talking about youth empowerment. I want to understand more about Empowervate. What do you guys do exactly?
So Empowervate is basically an NPO which runs with a flagship program called YCAP, which is the Youth Citizens Action Program, which is a program in where we say, instead of waiting for someone like government or your schools to fix the problems that you have identified in your school or in your community, you can then do it yourself using the skills that we equip you with through our YCAP toolkit.
Oh, yes. And I understand that your role is to monitor mentorship in schools, because I love the idea that you start them where in Xhosa we say, ligotywa liselula. And there's also been a complaint due to lack of monitoring and evaluation, of youth initiatives. Do you feel that, with youth empowerment programs, they really should be evaluated to ensure that they are successful?
I really do believe that they should be evaluated, because I'd use us as an example. We have a network of support team members across the country that work with evaluating and monitoring the learners in the schools, keeping them up to track with what they are doing, keeping them accountable with the actions that they are taking so that they stay up to date with their projects and so that they get the opportunity to accomplish what they want to accomplish.
Amazing stuff. I want you to touch on the programs that you have. And also, do you reach far-flung areas? We have your Limpopo, we have your Eastern Cape, rural Eastern Cape. I heard one of the voxers saying that, there's a challenge with Wi-Fi, and now the world is advanced. We are in the 4IR. Do you also reach far-flung areas like rural Eastern Cape?
We do actually reach far-flung areas. Fun fact is that the schools in those far-flung areas are the schools that usually do the best within the YCAP program. Like the school that won the competition last year was actually a school from the Eastern Cape called Ngcihana JSS.
And you know, you find that most young people, especially if you visit Ekasi, they have these great business ideas, but now they lack information and awareness. And here you are today saying that, no, we have the programs, come through. I mean, you'll be empowered as a young person. I mean, where is it lacking? You know, I want you to touch on the prospects and also the challenges that young people face, especially if it's going to hinder youth empowerment.
Honestly, the challenges that we face is, number one, a lack of infrastructure. Because, for example, if you're to look at the villages and the townships, the most important thing we need is Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And we don't have that in the villages. I, for myself, am originally from Limpopo, but my parents came here so that they can afford me the opportunities that I wouldn't usually get back in Limpopo. So we need to start by uplifting our communities in our rural provinces like your Eastern Cape, Limpopo, KZN, so that they can be on par and get the same resources that kids in provinces like Gauteng and the Western Cape get.
Oh, yes. And on that note, you know, I want to read some of the comments that are coming from your organization. I have one coming through. It says, as a YCAP activist since 2019, I've had the best 5 years of my life. YCAP did not only give me an opportunity to compete with other schools, with other schools in South Africa, but it also gave me the platform to grow. I am proud to say that my thinking capacity, public speaking skills, and time management skills have drastically improved. I have another one coming from another one who has joined. He says, through these skills and experience I gained from Youth Citizens Action, I've won several awards. There are so many of them, Bukeliwan, but this is to show the impact that you have as an organization. You yourself, you are part of the organization. I mean, you started off and then life has drastically changed for you. Can you just quick, you know, what happened? Where are you now? What are you doing?
So basically what happened is I took part in the YCAP program when I was in grade 10 back in 2018. Eventually got the opportunity to represent the Gauteng province at the national aspect of the competition.
Yes, girl.
Coming out 4th place in our first try, competing with schools that have been taking part for years. So we were extremely proud of what we did, but at the same time we were saddened that we didn't get to win. And unfortunately, we stopped doing our projects.
Wow,
So,
and now you are the manager. Just quickly, you know, people, if they need any information, they want to partake in this program, where do they get hold of you?
You can get a hold of us at Empowervate.org, which is our website. You can also follow us on our social media platforms. We are on Instagram and Facebook, as well as TikTok.
Yes, I love your confidence. I mean, the leadership skills, it's right there. Thank you so much for joining us. We wish you the very best. May we see more young people growing in your organization. Right in Bugeliwe Expressions, let's take a quick commercial break. Remember, be a challenge of a problem solver. Be a youth of a problem solver. Let's take a quick commercial break. Do not move a muscle. You are watching Expressions.
Thanks so very much for staying with us right here on SABC 1 on Expressions as we continue to have a conversation really about empowering young people. And of course, my guests are still joining me. Now, before the ad break, Kolos was having a conversation with the other young person right there, talking really about, you know, some of the impact that she has sort of gained and also some of the benefits that she has gained. But then I suppose, to me, as much as that may be the case, 10 years is a long years in the game without experiencing any sort of challenges. Maybe you can allude to some of those?
Sure. I think before we went on the ad break, I was just talking about challenges from a youth perspective. To say from their side, it's a lack of provision of opportunity. And I think from an Empower Youth perspective as an organization, our biggest challenge is gaining the support of industry. I think we need to understand with the platform of this nature, it's quite imperative to partner and collaborate, because we can have all these big vision boards that speak to what we want to implement or execute. But without having resource support as well as content support, it makes it very difficult for us as Empowaworx to be able to implement this at the level that we would like to. So I think one of the biggest challenges is gaining that attraction on a multi-year basis to say if an organization, of which most of them do, they've got a mandate to look into youth development. They come on board and they don't have to reinvent the wheel, but rather plug into something that exists, it really works, partner. It's been tested, and I think we've gone through the heat enough. And where we are, we've been able to expose over 60,000 40,000 youth to this very platform across the country.
That's wonderful. That's great indeed. And then for you, Sbusiso, you know, we're talking also earlier on that this has changed your life and even skyrocketed your business. But then in the near future, I suppose the question that most young people are asking themselves is, would you recommend this particular program, or even let's broaden the spectrum, not this particular program, but any program that seeks to uplift Abandabasha? Would you recommend it to Umdamcha?
Oh, yes, absolutely. However, I'd like to caution some young people because I think I've been in over 10 empowerment programs. None has been as effectful or impactful as this one. Why? Because there are some programs that come and claim to empower. Kanti, you are the business, you are the product.
Okay.
You know, you are the bum on the chairs that they present and they get money and they forget about you.
It's all about profit.
It's all about profit for them. However, now what the difference with Empowa was that even post the program, post the event, I can still reach out to them and they can still assist me with network, with mentorship, with advice. So we need to be cautious of when we participate, how do we choose those programs as youth?
Quickly, I'm running out of time. I just want to know, now that you've joined the program, are you more employable now?
I'm an employer now.
Oh, you're an employer?
Yes.
Oh, even more great, even more great. I suppose we can attribute that to some of the sessions. Now, umuntu musha that really wants to be a part of this as we wrap this conversation up, how do they get a hold of you guys? And probably just a word of advice and encouragement to young people out there, because like I said in my intro, youth unemployment has skyrocketed itself.
Sure. A word of advice is definitely to expose yourself as a young person to platforms such as Empower Youth. They bring you the content, the knowledge that you require to unlock a better future for yourself. We also ensure that we bring industry leaders that come and give you tangible, sustainable opportunities on the spot. And I think it's there's not many platforms that exist that are able to do what we do at the way that we do it and at the scale that we target as well. But you are able to reach out on us. We are on social media. It's at Empower Youth. So you spell that EMPOWA Youth. We also do have a website where young people can register. We've got a jam-packed program coming up in the Val area next month from the 22nd to the 26th, where we're targeting 10,000 young people from Sibokeng, and they'll be exposed to at least 12 industry stages, 200 speakers and 200 exhibitors that will be there to expose them to tangible opportunities.
Thank you very much. Look, we can talk for all day, but all I'll say is that congratulations to you, Sbusiso, and even to you, and Dumi, and all the very best going forward with your particular initiative. Well, Mbogeli, that's how we wrap it up right here on Expressions. All I'll say is where there is a will, there most certainly will be a way, Kolo.
Oh, mzathu, washo kwapho. Buye babi. Indeed, when Mbogeli, be the change that you want to see. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, asikushiwe twagoda Umurana Sway featuring Lizwi Ungangile with the song titled Atamela. Goodbye.
Every night when I lay in my bed, pero like I hope I go and I can't stop thinking of you. You have stolen my heart, baby. What have you done? I wanna give you true love, give you true love. That's a whole new true love. You have stolen my heart, baby. What have you done? I wanna give you true love, give you true love. That's a whole new true love. Don't want no more canduva. Atamela, mo canduva. I wanna give you some love, baby. I wanna give you some love. Don't want no more canduva. Atamela, mo canduva. I wanna give you some love, baby. I wanna give you some love, baby. Yeah. Sonela, lo muntu muhle ngisho sithela. Sonela, ozethuza kwami ngifuna ukuhlebela.